Do you want a feel-good story for today? Feds are trying to track down the hacker who tried to poison a Tampa Bay water supply by taking over control of a computer system's mouse. So did I say feel good? I lied, because it's actually lie. The hacker increased sodium hydroxide, that's lye, from 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million. Lye is what you find in drain cleaners. Sprinkle lye on a dead horse and you get a puddle of soap. CNN sprinkles it on the truth and calls it primetime. I bring this up for one reason. If we know one thing about government and the media, is that they can't do two things at once. Hell, they can barely do one thing at once. So while this is happening, you got journalists chasing down problematic phrases instead of actual dangers. Meanwhile, impeachment part 2 is their theatrical therapy designed to please reporters and Dems alike, because they are alike. It won't result in anything except delayed COVID relief and old Democrats mumbling at podiums. We've seen it before. As real threats motor on. We knew this 20 years ago as we chased the Gary Condit case and obsessed over Bill Clinton's infidelities. Al-Qaeda had other plans. The world doesn't stop for our pathetic news cycles. The world takes advantage of our media and our politicians. We were warned about the water supply before. Now, maybe it's not a hack, but an error. But I'm no expert. I'm in the media. But I'm willing to bet not a single Democrat senator cares much. There's a circus in town, and they're in box seats loading up on cotton candy and popcorn and lies. Let's hope they don't drink the water. So, Dana, here's the deal. I'm a little skeptical about certain things. This bothers me because we know the water supply is a target. But whenever somebody says hack, it always turns out to be a mistake that somebody hits a button. Do you remember the missile scare in Hawaii or Anthony Weiner? It's always a hacker. Do you think this, I mean, is it possible that this actually is a hacker?
I think it is possible.
Yeah.
And if you remember, the other story that didn't get a lot of attention early last month was that of the SolarWinds hack into not only big corporations in America, but all across our government, including at the Commerce Department and Treasury Department. And they were in there for months. They still might be in there. And actually, there's not been enough reporting on that, or basically acknowledgement of the failure of our government to protect all of us from that. So there's that piece of it. But the other thing, Greg, when I first heard this story the other night, you were the first person I thought of. Not because I thought you were a hacker, but because 10 years ago when we started the 5, you kept talking about the hardening of soft targets and how technology and terrorism, wherever it was coming from, apparently they don't even know if this came from inside the United States or outside, or even if it was a hack, to your point. But you're the first person I thought of because I thought, Greg has been trying to warn everybody about this very thing.
Yeah, when I think of soft targets, I think of Gutfield.
All right, Jesse. At least this hacker's mostly peaceful, right?
That's right. I didn't remember much from chemistry, Greg, but I did remember that water is the source of life. And it's the building block of civilization. And if you go after the water source, that's like pulling out the wrong Jenga piece and the tower. Kaboom, it all comes crashing down. If this is successful, you're looking at a mass casualty terror attack. So what we have to do is look at this, like you said, as a red flag and promote whoever our cyber warfare guys are. Make them their own military branch, like the Space Force. Give them their own uniforms.
Cyber Force.
Because I guarantee you this is the wave of the future. And I'm not scared of missiles anymore. I'm afraid of hackers, and I'm not afraid of much.
I don't want any lie getting on you, Waters. Juan, it seems to me that we have moved away from the traditional view of war. And it's now, I mean, if you marry a drone with a packet of lye, how easy is that to just fly a drone over a reservoir? You don't need to hack.
Yeah. I just want to underline how extensive this thing is now. You know, Dana talked about SolarWinds. There have been hacks of hospitals. There have been hacks, ransomware now, you know, people being extorted and all that. So right now, it looks to me like cybercrime may be the most extensive crime impacting America, because it's just everywhere. And, you know, people talk about the hackers, but a hacker is an actual person, and maybe they're working for somebody. But we've got to arrest them. We got to prosecute. We got to go after these people, because when they're going after a water supply, that means they're trying to kill us.
Yep. Thank God. Well, anyway, Judge, I was going to go say a joke that Jesse told me this morning, but I decided not to use it because I'm thinking differently now. Judge, this is why I'm going to start drinking canned beer instead of water.
Well, that makes perfect sense because, you know, old crimes are being committed in new ways. And I realized this when I was prosecuting crime. You know, cyber crime is probably the #1 crime that affects Americans more than any other crime. And the hardening of the grid and the hardening of anything that protects our water supply is essential, and shame on us if we don't take advantage of the fact that there have been many warnings and there's a lot to lose in this world where America is, you know, not the favorite of some outrageous, evil countries.
Including people
at that.
here in America.